Hi kids, prepare yourselves. I have to go really fast today because lesson 7 is enormous. This is just a classic example of how they put way too much information in one lesson. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 30-minute video. The objective is to multiply any whole number by a fraction using tape diagrams. Now this is a very simple concept, okay? Half of 4. 4 is in 2 pieces, each piece is 2. This is not what's hard. This is easy. It's taking the information and doing it the way they want you to do it. But we will get through this because it's kind of cool when you figure it all out. You take a whole set of 4, okay? You divide it into 2 pieces. How many are in each set? It's really, in math terms, when we get away from the model, it's going to be 1/2 times 4. Half of 4, remember? 4 over 1 is equal to 4 because 4 divided by 1 is 4. So I can do this. Change this and write it into an expression. 1 times 4 over 2 times 1, which makes 4 over 2, which is really 2. Whole big long set of work to really get back to this is a 2. Move on. If I have 10 things, what's half of 10? Everybody knows it's 5. The answer is 5. That's not the problem, it's the process. Take 1 times 10, again, put 10 over 1. So 1 times 10 over 2 times 1 really equals, multiply across, 10 over 2, which is 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So here we have the of sign instead of a multiplication sign. Half of 54. That just means 54 is in 2 groups. Yep, we're going to divide by 2. Here it is after you've set it all up the way they like you to. 1 times 54, okay, that's this here, over 2 times 1. That's this here because of means multiply. Here's your division problem. Here's your answer. Keep going. This is a lot. 1/4 of 20. Oh, well, if you break 20 into 4 pieces, it's really 20 divided by 4 is 5. Write it this way. 1 times 20, 1 times 20, 4 times 1, 4 times 1. There's your 20 divided by 4. There's 5. This is pretty much, this is all old school. It's just getting that tape diagram. And how does this all fit in with our, they're gonna throw something new at you in a minute. How does this all fit in? So here, instead of having one piece of it, we might have multiple pieces. So 3/5 of 35. Take and make a tape diagram. Get your 35. This is the whole. Make 5 pieces. 5 tells you how many parts. Again, boy, you guys should be writing this down. Okay, pause the video so you can get it all written down. So you create your 5 pieces. This is the whole. What is the size of 1? You have to know the size of 1 before you can know the size of 3. So if you divide 35 by 5, then you get 7. And so this is the 5 units equals 35. Then here's the 35 divided by 5 to get 7. 1 unit is 7. Now you have to do 7 times 3. So find the amount of 1, then you can find the amount of any. Move on. Here's another problem. These are some of the word problems that are in the teacher's manual, so you may not get a chance to do them before the book is thrown at you, but this is good practice. Amy buys 2 dozen roses. Of these, 3/4 are red and the rest are white. How many white roses did she buy? In the same way, you could say, how many red roses did she buy? And the book will. They will ask you all kinds of questions. So identify in a tape diagram the 4 pieces, okay, 4 being the denominator. That's telling you how many parts. This is the whole. 24 divided by 4, again, 4 units. I don't think that's here. 4 units equals 24. Do the division to get 6. Then 6, you could say 18 are red, but 1/4 of 24 would be what's left. Now that you know what 1 unit is, 6 roses are white. Next one. Rosie has 17 yards of fabric. She used 1/3 of it to make a quilt. How many yards did she use? She has 17. It's 1/3 of 17. 17 now needs to be divided in 3 parts. Well, it's an odd number, and it's not a multiple of 3. So yes, you will be getting fractional answers. So 1/3 of 17. And again, if you just set it up, use the of and turn it into a multiplication sign, multiply across, get 17, multiply across, get 3. It becomes an improper fraction, and you should be experts on that by now. 17 divided by 3 makes 5 whole times with 2 left over out of 3. So this is, I'm not even showing it in long division format. And here's the 5 2/3 yards on her quilt, and you can check yourself by adding, which is what this is, and then you get the 17, so hooray. Now, just when you think you got everything this lesson had to offer, they're going to throw in a wrench, and they change everything up, okay? They have been asking you a fraction of a number, a fraction of a number, a fraction of a number. This time, they have little problems that say a fraction of mystery equals answer. So now they're taking this part out, and you're going to have to find out what it is by using the tape diagram. So they have a couple of these, and I know nobody's going to even have this yet. This is what bothers me about this program. You should spend an entire day just on this format before you switch into this, because it just confuses people. It's like, do they even know 5th graders at all? Rude. Okay, so here it is. 2/3 of a number is 8. 2 out of 3 parts of a mystery number is 8. 2 is 8. 2 pieces out of 3 make 8. So the difference between these tape diagrams and this tape diagram is that on all of these, we know the whole. We know the whole, and we put it at the top. And on these, we do not know the whole. You know what a part is, and you have to figure out, well, if I know this, then I can figure out this, and I can get that. So if 2/3 are 8, divide the 8 into 2 pieces. So 2 units equals 8. 1 unit would be 8 divided by how many pieces? 1 unit is 4. 3 units. 3 times 4 makes 12. So that is like a super complicated lesson for today, and I know that took me a super long time, and now we're in trouble because I'm 7 minutes in. If we run out of time, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to slap down the answer key. But let's take our time and build some beautiful tape diagrams. Okay, lesson 7, problem set, 1/3 of 18. So create your 18. That's probably a little bit bigger than it needs to be. You can even make them smaller. And we want to know this amount. So what is 1/3 of 18? If 3 units equal 18, then 1 unit equals 18 divided by 3. It's really, you can do this if you want, which equals 6. So 1 unit equals 6. Now you could find out 2 units or 3 units or whatever. And also, if you want to not run into all the other problems, you can make lovely little sections like this before you get too far in. 1/3 of 36. Here's my tape diagram. I have 36. Wiggly, terrible writing today. And I need to know 1/3 of it. And again, they start off with ones, which is real nice because eventually the numerator will change and you'll have to do multiples. So 36, 3 units equals 36, but I want 1 unit. So that's going to be 36 divided by 3. You can set it up in a fraction form. And then you can do that. You can do long division if it's real complicated for you. I happen to know that 3 times 12 is 36. So 1 unit is 12. Move on. Okay, 24 is the whole. I'm just going to do that to save time. This is how many pieces? 4. This is how many they want. So what is 3/4 of 24? So I know that 4 units, or the number of pieces, are equal to 24. And I have to find out, or you can find out, what 1 unit is. Unit equals 24 divided by 4. And when you know the amount of 1, you know the amount of any. 24 divided by 4 equals 6. 1 unit is 6, and 6 times 3 equals 18. Okay, I feel like I need a label. Again, 3/8 of 24. Oh, that is so small. Oh, I'm going to be sorry. Look at how tiny this is going to be. Okay. Teeny tiny little pieces. 24 is the whole, and we need 3 out of 8. So this is what we're looking for here. So I have 8 units equal 24, and 1 unit, can you guys see that? I should look up every once in a while. 1 unit equals 24 divided by 8, which is 24/8, which is 3. That's 1 unit. I keep forgetting the I. And then if 1 unit is 3, then 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, next one, 4/5. I know I'm going fast. I am so sorry. I wish I didn't have to go so fast, but this time limit is a killer. It's a killer. 25 divided into 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need 4/5, so you're really looking at this whole section. If 5 units equal 25, kind of going over the line, then, oops, 1 unit. 1 unit equals 25. I'm just going to do this because I'm out of room. And that equals 5. So if 1 unit is 5, then 5 times 4 equals 20. And you should be able to fill in, if you get an answer, you should be able to put it in and get, I could get 2/5, I could get 3/5. You should be able to do that, and it would add up properly to your whole. 1/7 of 140. Oh, it's fun when the numbers get really big. It's like, holy moly. 140. 7 pieces. These never work out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It worked out okay. So I guess never is the wrong word. 7 units equals 140. And then 1 unit equals 140 divided by 7. So how nice that they made it a multiple of 7, because 7 fits into 14 2 times. And then we can have our 20, and that is 1. And I really just kind of want to get down to the bottom so you can see where they throw the wrench at you. Okay, 1/4 of 9. Now here's where it gets a little interesting. If 9 is the whole, okay, let's just say 9 is the whole, and it's divided into 4 parts, you're probably already thinking 9 is not a multiple of 4. And you would be right. 4 units equal 9. Remember, we can use fractions. So 1 unit is going to be 9 divided by 4, which will not give us an exact answer, but that's okay, because 9/4 is 4 into 9, which makes 2 whole times, because 4 times 2 is 8, with 1 left over out of 4. And so you get 2 1/4, which would be what this is representative of. And so that's 2 1/4 right there. And if I added this 4 times in a check, like we have been doing, you should get 9. If you don't get 9 when you add up 2 1/4 4 times, you've done something wrong somewhere. So you go back and check. 12 is our whole, and it should be split into 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, they get a little bit bigger. Oh well. 2. So 5 units equal 12. 1 unit would be nice to know. It's 12 divided by 5. And so if I have 12/5, how many times can 5 fit into 12? 2 whole times with 2 left over. And now that's just for 1 unit. So you might have to do a little addition. 2 2/5 plus 2 2/5. And then we have our whole numbers. Again, add the whole numbers, add the fraction, And if it goes over, then you have to put those together. But we have 4 and 4/5, which is the 2/5. Watch out and make sure you're including that numerator and getting more than 1, because we solve for 1, but then you have to go back and make sure, how many do they want? Do they want 1 or 2 or 4 or 3? You really do have to go check yourself. Okay, I'm going as fast as I can. Here it is, just to mess with you. That's what I think it is. They're just messing. 2/3 of a number is 10. 2/3 is 10. 2 pieces out of 3. 2 pieces make 10. Okay? Now, once you see this, and I don't know the number, 2 out of 3 is 10. What is the whole? So it should look really clear to you, and you're probably going, well, it's 5 plus 5. It's 5 plus 5, and so the whole is 15. Yes. So if you want to show it the math way, like, I'm just glad that you can get the answer by looking at it. But if you want to show it the way the book says, what they're looking at is 2 units equals 10. Okay, so what we do know, I still want to know what 1 unit is, because that's, if I know 1, I can know any. Equals 10 halves equals 5, 1 unit. And if this is 5, then this is 5, and this is 5, and you check yourself and say, yes, 5 plus 5 is 10. Therefore, that is the other one. Therefore, I have 3 times 5, which is 15, and that's the whole. There you go. So it's not that bad, it's just different, and you really have to change your thinking, because the language is, it could throw you. Okay, now we have 3/4 of a number is 24. 3/4, look at the denominator. 3 out of 4 pieces is 24. Ah, now it's starting to present itself. 3 units equal 24. 1 unit equals 24 divided by 3. And that, well, I just hate having to write all this stuff over and over and over. It takes so much time. And then you get your 8, and of course you can figure this out. 8 times 4 equals 32, and now the whole is 32. How are we doing on time? Getting up there. Okay, so I hope that is really helpful. We still have so much new stuff. Just when you think you understand it, then they're going to put in geometry, and it's like, we haven't even had any geometry, people. Hello. And this, it'd be easier on one of the other lessons, but here we go. Solve using tape diagrams. Let's wrap this up. There are 48 students going on a field trip. Okay, at least we know what that is. And then 1/4 are girls. Well, I guess that means the rest, the 3/4 are boys. Okay, because we only have 2 options. How many boys are going on the trip? Now they're asking numbers. Okay, so we need 3/4 of 48. So there are a couple different ways you can show your tape diagram. We know that 48 students are going, and we know that the fraction, okay, so they wrote it in words, which some people just go poof, and they go right past it. I don't know how many pieces. Here's the fraction, 1/4. Here's the other fraction that you have to determine. So it's like it's one of those hidden questions. You have to get this before you can really see what you're looking for. If these are the girls, then these must be the boys. And so this would be what we're searching for. So it's 4 units equal 48. See, it's not such a bad lesson after all. 1 unit is 48 divided by 4. You can set it up, or you can just do the division. 4 into 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2, so you should see that it's 12. and that would be for 1 unit. Now, we know how many girls, but we need to know how many boys. That's what the question is. And so it's 36 because it's 12 times 3. Where's it going? Hooray! Have a good time on your trip. We're all quarantined and we can't go anywhere. So no fun for us. Just reflect on your past field trips. That'll have to be good enough for now. Okay, 3 angles are labeled below with arcs. Okay, these are angles. First of all, they don't even tell you what an angle is. An angle is where 2 rays meet. Okay, this is an angle and this is an angle. These are the arcs. Fancy, fancy, fancy. And the smallest angle, you just kind of have to eyeball it. Smallest, meaning the smallest arc, is 3/8 as large as the 160-degree angle. 3/8 of 160 is what they're trying to say. 3/8 as large as. Not only do they change the wording there, but they change this so that you understand, hey, guess what? You can say of in several different ways. Find the value of A. So then they say, here's this, now what's that? And we didn't give you any information. And to make matters worse, you kind of need to know something about adding up the degrees. This is a degree sign. And you have to know that all of these together, that would make a circle. So a circle equals 360. And then usually in class, I'll have a big discussion about doing skateboard tricks and skiing tricks. And have you ever done a 360? Yeah, and then we all get up and we jump around and you try to do a 360. And then I'll stop and I'll say, let's do 180s now because I'm getting sick. And a 180 is only half of 360. And it's when you turn halfway around. But you don't want to do that when you're skiing because if you do that, then you fall over backwards and hit your head. And it would really be painful. So anyway, so there's a whole lot that they're just throwing at you right now, and we have like 0 time to cover it. So sadly, I must move on. So here we go, 3/8 of 160. So let's make our tape diagram. 160. And it needs to be divided into 8 parts. Half, lots of pieces. And we need to know 3 because we just have to start somewhere and they've only given us a little bit of information. So I have 8 units equal 160. Okay, but I want 1 divided by 8, 160 divided by 8. And again, it's kind of nice when they give you easy math because 16 is a multiple of 8. So 16 divided by 8 is 2, and then we have the next place value position. 1 unit is 20. Why did I do that? Because I don't like having to write everything all the time. So that just means ditto. 1 unit equals 20. 20, or you can hardly see it there. So if 1 unit is 20, then 3 is going to be 60. Okay, now 3/8 of 160 would be 60. Okay, so this angle here is 60 degrees, is what they're trying to tell you. So now I have 160 plus 60. Now, the final question is, what is this? But I have to do a little bit of addition because knowing that this is my total, I can put my 160 and 60 together and get 220. And then when I get the 220, I'm going to take away from the 360. There's just so much here that they haven't really prepared you for. So hopefully your teachers are like, we got this. Anyway, subtraction with no regrouping. So it's 0, 4, and 1. And that leaves you with angle A is 140 degrees. Angle A is 140 degrees. So there you go. We only have 2 problems left, and we're going to cram it in. I know this one is totally bizarre, and we will get to geometry in Module 5, so try not to stress about it. If you didn't understand, don't worry. Just think of it as like the whole and parts. Oh, we're still on, okay, let's do another one. Abby spent 5/8 of her money and saved the rest. If she spent $45, how much did she have at first? So this is kind of one of those work your way backwards. She spent 5/8 of her money. We need 8 parts because that denominator tells us. Make your nice 8 parts. Give yourself a little bit of room. And she spent 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spent, saved, and now they tell us that she spent $45. So I know that I have 5 parts that make up 45. So I'm not going to worry about this whole here. Okay, I don't know that yet. But what I do know is that 5 units equal 45. Oops, not 4S, 45. I was thinking about a dollar sign, clearly. If 5 units equal 45, then 1 unit equals 45 divided by 5. So 1 unit, I'm just going to do it, equals 9. So if this is 9, okay, but I don't need to know this, and I don't need to know this. I need to know all of that. Then the whole, which is 8 pieces, can be multiplied by 1 unit. Oh, sorry, I did have to go back. 1 unit, and then you can get the whole. And so how much money did she have at first? $72 at first. We're so close. Yeah. Mrs. Harrison used 16 ounces of dark chocolate while baking. She used 2/5 of the chocolate to make some frosting and used the rest to make brownies. How much more chocolate did Mrs. Harrison use in the brownies than in the frosting? So if we take our 16 ounces and we divide it into the 5 pieces, 16 ounces. While baking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She used 2/5 on frosting. Frost. And the rest for the brownies. Brown. Okay. And how much more? Okay, so the question then is about the ounces. How much more did she use? So let's do our 16 in 5 units. 16 ounces. 1 unit equals 16 divided by 5. And 16 divided by 5 would give you 3 and 1/5. Now, if that's for 1 unit, okay, then you can kind of, I mean, you hardly have to do any calculation here because this part is what's in question. Otherwise, they're equal, okay? So if this is 3 1/5, and this is 3 1/5, and this is 3 1/5, and this is 3 1/5, what's the difference? Well, it's 3 1/5. I mean, you just look at the tape diagram and you can see it. If you wanted to, but we're almost out of time, if you wanted to, you could add up these 2 and then add up these 3 and do a subtraction problem, and you will get that anyway. So the reason tape diagrams are so awesome is because you can kind of see what's happening all along. Anyway, so since we're really late, I'm just going to head out. I hope you guys like these videos. Click to subscribe if you made it this far, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. You guys are so amazing.